I'll close now, and I want to close the way I opened. I want to thank my colleagues on both sides of the aisle for their hard work on this bill. I want to remind my colleagues that just a few years ago, when the last war was raging in Gaza, the other terrorist group, Hamas, used civilians as human shields. We had a resolution on the floor of this House condemning it, and I was very, very proud that that resolution passed unanimously. We need to condemn these terrorist groups no matter what they do, but when they use people as human shields, innocent people, and then try to blame the other side for the death, it's not something that we can continentally stand for at all. And I hope that we rise to the occasion this time as well, because I can think of nothing more despicable than using innocent civilians as human shields. These bomb factories are built in mosques, they're built in schools, they're built in playgrounds, they're built where children are. They're built because they are daring Israel and the United States to go after them when we know that there'll be human casualties. And it's really a despicable position. And here you have two terrorist groups, Hezbollah and Hamas. One's Shia, one's Sunni. It doesn't matter. They're both out to kill people. They're both out to terrorize people. They're both out to do the opposite of what we try to do in the United States, lifting people up. And they need to be stopped. And this Congress needs to keep sending strong messages with teeth behind it to the world that we will not sit idly by and allow these terrorist activities to happen. And using civilians as human shields is really the lowest of the low. The fact that Hezbollah would put innocent men, women, and children in harm's way as human shields tells you everything you need to know about this organization. It's a cowardly practice by a gruesome group, and it cannot and shall not be tolerated. This measure puts us on record again, condemning this terrorist group, and it gives the administration more tools to deal with one of Hezbollah's worst tools, more tools to deal with Hezbollah to stop its terrorist activities. So I urge a bipartisan yes vote. I thank Chairman Royce again for his collaboration with us on both sides of the aisle. That's one of the great things about the Foreign Affairs Committee, because we realize that partisanship stops at the water's edge. When we're talking about terrorist groups, when we're talking about anti-democratic groups, they affect us all. And it's important that this Congress sends strong bipartisan measures and a strong bipartisan voice to say we will not tolerate these atrocities. So I yield back and urge a yes vote of all my colleagues on both sides.
Gentleman yields back. The gentleman from California is recognized.